To enable the plower and its settings, I start by clicking the Options button. On the Routing General page of the Options dialog box, I select the Turn on Plower checkbox. The Plow with Pointer option features two modes: real-time plowing, which moves obstacles immediately as the pointer encounters them, and guided plowing. Guided plowing holds obstacles in place until I choose a path to an open area. This lets me experiment with choosing the best path before affecting objects in my design. For this example, I select the real-time plowing option. I'm going to leave the plower strength setting at medium. This setting determines the extent to which the plower moves adjacent traces. I click OK to save my settings. I want the ability to shove traces by default, so with nothing selected, I right-click and click Properties. I click the Routing tab and select the Shove Traces to Complete Connections When Required checkbox. Paths Router preserves protected traces unless I also select the Shove Protected Traces When Required checkbox. For this example, I leave it cleared. On the Grid tab, I set the routing and via grids to 0 to free the router of restraint and improve results. This allows the pointer to move objects smoothly and with greater ease in congested areas. Then I click OK. I begin routing by right-clicking and clicking Interactive Route. Note that as I move the pointer, objects move aside wherever they interfere with the pointer's route. I can change the plower behavior while interactively routing by right-clicking and selecting from one of the plower options on the menu. Selecting the Push Trace Behind setting allows Paths Router to move an obstructing trace behind the advancing pointer whenever necessary. The No Plowing option turns off the plower. When I select the Plow After Click setting, Paths Router reroutes obstacles only after I click a corner. When set, Paths Router must have sufficient room to move an obstruction or I cannot create a corner. This plower mode works best when I am not using dynamic routing. I use this option in dense designs when I want to explore various directions with a pointer without affecting the surroundings before making a choice for the best route. When I select the Rip Up Obstructing Traces setting, Paths Router splits or bisects traces to allow the pointer to pass through. Selecting this option results in partial connections that will require rerouting. I can prevent the plower from moving certain nets. I right-click a net I want to preserve in the Project Explorer and click Properties. I then click the Net tab and select the Protect Traces and Vias checkbox, then click OK. The plower can then move surrounding traces without affecting traces belonging to the net. This method of enabling the plower allows you some flexibility while routing without disturbing critical traces, such as those associated with fanouts on a BG device.